Some call it the world's largest zoo. Some call it America's best zoo. I call it the happiest place on earth. Unless it's illegal to call it that, in which case, never mind. Whatever you call it, Omaha's Henry Doorly Zoo and Aquarium in Nebraska needs to be on your bucket list. This is it, you guys, our final ultimate video ending our 5-chapter series on this incredible zoo. The last 4 videos in this series have covered the acres and acres of indoor exhibits and experiences on offer. Everything from the cooling waters of the Scott Aquarium, the lush forested lead jungle, the calming sands of the Desert Dome, and the dark wetness of Mahoney's Kingdoms of the Night. But we have barely left the entrance with those buildings. There are 160 more acres to explore. Today we'll be touring the zoo counterclockwise, saving some of the most uniquely themed and immersive exhibits for last. This is it, you guys, our final trek through the Omaha Zoo to get the big picture of what makes this place so unique, so special, and so award-winning. Let's begin. Trains, trams, and lifts, oh my. The zoo has many different options for getting around if walking a literal marathon is not the dream for your visit. The tram is especially useful as you can hop on and off at various points throughout the park. Pretty crazy how a zoo in Omaha, Nebraska has better public transit than LA. The Skyfari lift takes off from the top of the grasslands and gives you a bird's eye view of the savanna below. It takes you all the way back to the safari outpost at the rear of the park. When I rode it, you were not allowed to get off at the back, so it functioned purely as a round-trip sightseeing experience. It was definitely worth the $7 ticket for me. I got one of my favorite shots of the whole trip from it. This lion, who probably looks at the lift the way people look at a sushi conveyor belt. We also got a bird's eye view of the zebras, rhinos, and boggles. Ain't scared to admit I'm a freak. Onwards to the Scott African grasslands. This is a 28-acre exhibit home to herds of African elephants, giraffes, rhinos, impalas, zebras, ostrich, and much, much more. It is so cool seeing these animals with so much space to roam. That said, some of the giraffes did look like they just wanted to stay inside. And listen, I get it. I can relate to that. It was 101 degrees and humid that day. I'd be hanging out in the fan-cooled snack room too. Midwestern heat waves are different. Like, it's too hot for the giraffe? Why do we live here? Quick side note, these giraffes are very photogenic. The camera loves them and they love the camera. Baby, get the close-up. This is my good side. There was a baby giraffe on my visit last year. Her name is Hope, as in they hoped she would survive. Hey, lighten up, guys. Like, imagine you're a new mother, you get a Hallmark card and it just says, congrats on the baby, really hope it doesn't die right away. Speaking of babies, there were also baby elephants when I visited. 5 baby elephants have been born here in the last 2 years. That's like Nick Cannon levels of baby mama management. They probably took his master class. White rhinos are known to be the most social of all rhino species. Freaking life of the party over there. They're one of the largest dedicated grazers and have to spend about half of their day just eating grass to power all that muscle. Brother, I'm gonna put you on some Ensure protein shakes that will change your life. Leaving the grasslands, we enter the Garden of the Senses. It's a beautifully landscaped and manicured botanical garden. The highlight for me was the birds they had out. It was a particularly hot day, so they were spraying the birds with water to help them cool down. Either that or this is a solution of bleach to give the cockatoo its platinum blonde feather highlights. Outside the garden is the koi lagoon. There are dispensers on the bridge with food that you can purchase to toss down to the fish. I do believe that koi fish in a feeding frenzy could and would eat a human body. I mean, they're just blindly chomping on whatever's in the water. Can we confirm that those ducks still have all their feet? Hey, this place looks familiar. We made it to the very, very back of the park, which means we are halfway through the zoo. This is the safari outpost. There is an awesome viewing area for the lion's pride and habitat. I guess this is sort of like a home for gay lions. Normally, I would not be stopping at a statue garden in a zoo, but something about these statues just really called to me. This is June Kaneko's Garden of Tanuki. They're bright and colorful. They have these silly expressions. They seem like goofy guys with big, heavy naturals. This is art with a message I can get behind. Stingray Beach costs money, so I didn't do that. I'm sure it's cool. Simmons Aviary is a huge netted enclosure featuring over 250 loose birds. They're mostly just wandering around, but the flamingos do have their own special VIP section, presumably with bottle service and shrimp cocktails. That's actually how flamingos get their pink color, from drinking chilled rosé. I believe the scientific terminology for this black-necked swan's behavior is tweaking out. Off to the Asian highlands, another incredibly immersive exhibit. Red pandas are also known as the lesser panda, but I think you're just as good as any other panda. These tufted deer had just returned from their annual physicals and were having very different reactions while coming to from their anesthesia. One was panting, pacing, foaming at the mouth. The other one was like frozen in place. He was physically present, but mentally on another planet. That deer is in a K-hole, and then I think they may have accidentally given that deer in the back methamphetamines. The sloth bear was doing some training when I walked by. These bears are native to India and they primarily eat fruit, ants, and termites. It seems like a nice guy, but they're actually the #1 bear species when it comes to attacks on humans in the wild. So maybe actually not that nice. Speaking of animals that would absolutely eat you without a second thought, let's pop over to Tiger Falls. Luca is an Amur tiger native to Northeast China, Far East Russia, possibly even North Korea. Now, isn't that beautiful? These wild animals, they don't know borders or boundaries. They don't care what country they're in, as long as it's communist. Tigers are most active at night, so constant cat naps throughout the day are normal. There was a tiger training show that was supposed to happen, but Luca just simply refused to wake up. And I respect it. You know, this was at a time when the Screen Actors Guild was on strike. Solidarity, my guy. And you know, there's actually another reason he may be tired. The Omaha Zoo Conservation and Research Facility has the world's largest tiger sperm bank. Okay, it's cool when it's the world's largest, right? But then when I keep buckets of tiger sperm in my garage, I'm some sort of freak? Like, hello, I'm doing research too. What kind of research? Don't worry about it. The Takin have such a cool exhibit. It's a steep hill with huge rock and water fountain features. They are native to the forested valleys and rocky grass-covered alpine areas in the eastern Himalayas. It's swollen facial features led biologist George Schaller to describe them as bee-stung moose. Listen, you're going for a little lip filler, next thing you know your whole face is puffed up like a balloon. And swollen is the new beauty standard. The Indian rhinos were on the move. We got a jam-packed schedule today. We gotta move from this mud puddle all the way over to this mud puddle. It's a whole day's work. When I think of Gwyneth Paltrow's creative process for Goop magazine, it's just this. Hubbard's to a fascinating trio of exhibits. Hubbard's Expedition Madagascar, Gorilla Valley, and the Orangutan Forest. Expedition Madagascar is a dark, heavily air-conditioned building. The internal climate of this building alone is worth a visit during the hot summer months. You can see lemurs, reptiles, all the best that Madagascar has to offer. Okay, somebody go get the keeper. The snakes are tying themselves up in knots again. You're gonna knit yourself into a scarf. These lemurs have an adorable little baby. He is in a strict regimented training program to become an American Ninja Warrior. Parkour! Fossa are the big kahunas on Madagascar. They are the largest surviving carnivorous mammal on the island, and don't let their small stature fool you. They are taking down adult lemurs. It turns out the most accurate depiction of Madagascar's biological diversity to date is the 2005 DreamWorks animated film Madagascar. Portions of Gorilla Valley were under construction while I was visiting, but we were still able to see the main gorilla exhibits. For wild animals, I was impressed by how well groomed they are. Like, who's your barber? Are you doing the hair gummies? Do you use Pantene shampoo and conditioner? Gorilla DNA is said to be 96% similar to humans, but I don't believe it. I don't even think DNA is real. DNA is just a scam perpetrated by big science to sell more book. The black and white Colobus monkey has a freaking Edgar haircut. He also seems kind of sad and introspective. Classic case of Edgar syndrome. Medic, we need 5 millimeters of silver Cuban link chains that. The orangutan forest is the newest exhibit in the zoo. They've updated the enclosures inside and out and added a lot of interactive media to educate the public. Hey, here's a fun fact. Male orangutans have wide circular faces, while females, ironically, have a sort of male pattern baldness thing going on. Next up, my favorite outdoor exhibit in the entire zoo. The Owen Sea Lion Shores takes immersion to the next level. This exhibit houses sea lions and harbor seals in a state-of-the-art 275,000-gallon pool with natural features. Guests are transported to the Pacific Northwest, where you walk through rocky outcrops, canyons, and caves between different viewing areas, including a 150-seat amphitheater for training shows and a 40-foot underwater viewing window. A lot of sea lion and seal exhibits are just concrete tanks, and this exhibit really shows what is possible for animal welfare. That said, we still have yet to build a truly authentic marine habitat because there is a noticeable lack of microplastics and oil spills. You know, we could really get that Dawn dish soap sponsor. Heading back almost to the front of the zoo now, here are some incredibly immersive themed areas specifically designed for kids. As much as I do personally believe zoos should primarily cater to adult vloggers, I can understand that it's also important to make unique, fun, and immersive educational experiences for children as well. Glacier Bay Landing, the Holland Meadowlark Theater, and the Bay Family Children's Adventure Trails are experiences at a scale and quality that I have not seen at any other zoo. Glacier Bay Landing is like an Alaskan state fair with ice cream, food stands, a lighthouse playground, a carousel, a massive splash park. It sounds weird to say, but you should pack a swimsuit when you go to the zoo. Or I guess just get wet. You're probably not going to the zoo wearing your finest linens. The Meadowlark Theater seats more than 400 guests and is the home of Wonders of Wildlife, a birds in flight program. That show sounds cool. I think they should do Wicked next. Right across from the theater is the coolest play park I have ever seen in my life. Beaches, rafts, climbing structures, and the piece de resistance, a 3-story treehouse. And don't forget that we're at the zoo, so there are prairie dogs, monkey bridges, animal demonstration areas, and a whole petting zoo, pigs and all. And to think they built this whole section just for adult vloggers. I think it goes without saying that I love the Omaha Zoo. The massive exhibits and immersive experiences both help improve quality of life for the animals and also make this a one-of-one experience for visitors. This zoo has always felt special, and it's great to see them get recognized for the excellence year after year. You know, you could have the world's largest everything, but to be awarded America's Best Zoo 3 years in a row, no less, that really tells a story of a zoo doing something right. From the public conservation education to the scientific research being done behind the scenes, there is so much more to the zoo than just looking at the animals. I just cannot recommend enough going to and supporting the zoo. My only warning is if you have a child who is obsessed with animal plushies, do not go to the gift shop. They will take your money. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I would love to hear in the comments what your favorite part of the zoo was. Make sure to like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay tuned. I have many, many more videos planned for the rest of the year. Our next series will take us to New York City. I'll see you there.